and welcome to the Scary Goals Club. I am your host, Hazel Robertson, and I believe that to make the impact that you know you are called to make in the world, it requires setting bigger, scarier goals and then becoming the person who creates them. That is what I am here to show you how to do. That's what we're diving into with mindset, tools, tricks, really simple, practical, actionable steps you can take and start applying straight away. Because whatever you believe, we have this one life that we definitely know about. Start making the impact you know you want to make in the world. Fear is not a reason to stop. We keep going. We work through the fear. That is what we do in the Scary Goals Club. So come on in, come join, hit subscribe, and let's get started. Hi, and welcome to the Scary Goals Club podcast. I'm your host, Hazel Robertson, and here I am, back podcasting again. If you listened to last week's episode, I recorded it just for this one. I think I got a bit of a sugar dip at the end. And so I've gone and had another couple of chocolates, which have been delightful. I'm feeling good. I'm good for like another 20 minutes until it like peers off again. Anyway, I hope you're having an amazing week, whatever you're doing. And on today's episode, I just wanted to talk through another major life change that has happened over the last few months, as well as like finding our dream house and like moving into it and being here. And that is that I am pregnant, which if you have been following the podcast for a while, or if you haven't and you want to listen to like a specific episode about some of the challenges that I have been through, if you don't want to, like that's all good. I won't really go into much detail here, but what was the podcast episode? I probably should have got it before I even got on here and started talking about it. I think it was called like what actually happened at New Year. I basically at the start of 2025 was going amazingly on New Year's Eve, and then it went not so amazingly. And after like basically announcing to her family they were pregnant like at Christmas and like having this whole celebration, and then I ended up miscarrying just on like New Year's Eve. And so started 2025 being like, this was not how I thought 2025 was going to go. It was like, oh, and then had another two miscarriages after that. So it has been quite a start to the year. It has been quite a rough start to the year in terms of like, again, having that vision, having something that like I knew that I knew that we wanted, and yet life just not kind of going that way. And it's the same. I guess it's the same with any goal. I feel like pregnancy feels a little bit different because there's elements you can control, but obviously elements you just literally can't. And it's down to biology, and it's down to there's so many different factors that can play that you can do everything that you can, and there's still going to be Mother Nature doing her thing. And it's like letting go a little bit and like surrendering to that, which there's been a lot of that. And just to have imagined that now in like October, early October, I'd be like almost, I'm trying to think what that is, almost 6 months pregnant is, and especially with like where I was the first like quarter of the year is just, it's crazy. It was like my vision and what I was imagining. And yet I almost couldn't even imagine it. It was like, it's just not happening. And so I just wanted to share, like, first of all, that's what it is. If you want to see, hang on, I'll give you a little, there's a little, like, there's a little bump there, and all the stuff still be unpacked. Oh my gosh, down here we have like, we were unpacking the, like all the different cables and stuff. It must have been in the other office, just like stuffed away somewhere. And it's like all these like really old USBs that don't even like literally don't even exist anymore. Like, I don't think we even own anything that would connect to them. We have like 10 of like all these different like random connections. It's like, okay, these can all be recycled. Anyway, I digress. So it just feels like I guess kind of like the house thing. It's like this is something I have like so wanted, and at so many points would just like could not like, almost like not imagine it happening, even though I was leaning into the visualization, and even though I was just like kept like that has been probably the biggest thing that has kept me going through all the loss like earlier this year is I guess two things. One is just processing that loss and actually giving myself the space to grieve, to cry, to like, because there's all the physical changes and the like hormone stuff as well as like all the physical stuff of like miscarrying, and then also the emotional stuff as well of being like, right, this like due date that I had and this timeline that I had in my mind and this vision that I had has now shifted in some way, and like letting go of that and just processing all of that as well. And I think certainly for me, the hardest bit has been almost this like it's like grieving the what could have been that was actually never going to be. Like it was never going to happen because nature did her thing. But it's like I didn't know that at that time, and it's like had this like it was like this is how it's going to be, and this is the timeline that things are going to work out, and then almost letting go of that and having to be like, this isn't, you thought it would be this way, and it's not going to be that way anymore. So it's grieving that like loss of a future that you had imagined. I guess that's been like, I guess the hardest part. But for me, the thing that's just like kept me going even through all of that like heartache, all of the hormone shifts, which has been wild in itself, of like being pregnant and then not being pregnant, and then like being pregnant again, then not being pregnant, then being pregnant again, and just especially like the early stages of pregnancy, I've been so tired and get so ill that it's like going through that, which has been 4 times like this year, has just also been, it's like such a head fuck, really, of just not feeling myself, not being able to like go on these big runs I used to because I'm just like so knackered. There's been all of that stuff as well with all the loss. And then, of course, when I was actually pregnant, it was like, it's all good. Like, here I am, things are happening. I don't care about not being able to go on a run. I don't care about being tired. Like, it's all good. And so there's been a lot. And anyway, but the thing that's like kept me going with all of that is just having like the clearest vision that I'm like, this is happening in our future. Like, I know that this is happening. Maybe not on the time frame I thought, maybe not on how I thought things would go. So I guess if there's some goal that you're like working towards that is just not, feels like it's just not happening, there's setbacks, there's whatever is like going on, just holding on to that vision. And it's almost like when you have the vision and you can imagine it and you can zoom out a bit in terms of, and like almost like let go of the time frame, because sometimes we're like, it has to happen in this way and in this time frame. It's like it might not, and it probably won't, but like it's like letting go of the time frame, kind of surrendering a little bit to that. Like obviously you do what you can to influence it, but sometimes things are just going to happen in a different way than you can expect, and like in a different time frame than you can expect, but still the vision doesn't change. So it's like the vision is there all of the way to get there, and like the time frame and how it actually goes, that is going to be different. It always is going to be different, which is why even this is like a slight tangent, but like when I'm coaching clients about, they're like, I didn't get this thing done in this time frame and like the plan changed in this. It's like a plan is always made up. A time frame, a time scale of like estimating how long something's going to take, it's always made up. Like you do your best guess for sure, but it's always just a guess. It's the same with anything in life. We have this idea of like, this is the timeline and this is how things are going to be. And it's like, like you can really look back in your life and be like, so many things did not happen in the time frame, but like thinking where you are now and like the amazing things you have in your life, there'll be so many reasons why it's like, oh, I'm so glad it didn't work out the way it did, or like the way I thought it had to, because here we are. Like I think about that with my son. It's like I had a couple miscarriages before him, and at the time it was just like it felt even harder because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to even be able to have a kid. Like, what's going to happen? And then it just like now I'm like, I not that I'm grateful for them. That's maybe like not quite the right word, but like I'm so glad that things happen the way they happen because I get to hang out with him and he's literally like the coolest person I know and so interesting, so wise, so funny, so just like his own person. And I would never got to meet him if things had happened how I think they quote unquote should have. I wouldn't have known any difference, of course. But like now that I've met him, I'm like, I can't imagine having anyone else like in my life that's like would be my son like that. So it's always like when you actually look back, you can imagine, okay, things is like the thing I come back to that really helps me and has helped me is like it was always supposed to happen this way. Like it was always, we're going to look back and be like, oh, it was always going to happen this way. Just in the moment, we think it quote unquote should happen a different way or is going to happen a different way. And when we get really attached to a timeline and like how things are going to happen, then it can feel really hard when it doesn't happen that way. But if we have the vision instead and we kind of let go of the like exactly how we're going to be there, how we're going to get there, and we just kind of we're like we know where we're going, but how are we going to do it, how it's going to happen, like how it will unfold, when it will unfold. If we kind of like let go of that a little bit, it just becomes so much more joyful and I'm like playful. I'm like more open and just like, okay. So for me, like that's been so helpful is just being like, I know that this is going to happen at some point in my future. And then it happened like the next month or like 2 months later or something. It was like, oh, wow, okay, here we go. Like I almost hadn't expected, it wasn't like, okay, it has to be this month, it has to be this month, which it definitely was like the first time around, like a few years ago. It was like, I know it's going to happen. It was almost just like, this is happening. Now I can almost like enjoy my life as it is now. And there was certain things, it's like when I wasn't pregnant, I was like, okay, what are the things I can do now? And I'm gonna go do these things. I was like, right, I'm gonna go in the sauna, like, let's do these things. And it's just thinking about how can I make the most on the journey. For me, it was like on the journey to becoming pregnant, how can I make the most of not being pregnant and just enjoy that? And then I'll make the most of being pregnant, like when that actually happens as well. So it's like, again, enjoying the whole process, like and I guess I did this with the house as well. It was like when I'm not in the house that like we wanted to be in, how can I just like enjoy the process of being in the house that we are in now, the one that we were renting? It's like, what are the things that are like amazing and fun and easy about like where we live and how we live and things are just different. It's like simple and it's whatever like works. And it's thinking about that with like on the road to the pregnancy as well. It's like actually just making the most of not being pregnant and then making the most of being pregnant as well. I think the other really interesting bit, I did a podcast episode on this, which was like, I think I was going to call it goal grief or something. I don't think I actually called it that. I can't remember what I called it, but it's like oftentimes when we're working towards these goals, but we know that's what we want, like we know that that's what we want, there's still like a letting go process. There's still a like identity letting go. There's still like our brain is wired for survival and like the familiar and staying safe, not necessarily for change and for newness and for things being different and for the unknown and things we've not done before and uncertainty. That stuff, our brain's like, ugh, and can freak out a little bit. So oftentimes when we create our goal, so like then suddenly our brain can kind of freak out and we're a bit like, ah. And it was so interesting noticing it like earlier this year. I couldn't really fully talk about it on the podcast. Like I wasn't ready to say about my pregnancy yet. I just wanted to make sure like it was good. Everything was all good. And here we are like a good few months in. And it was so interesting. It was like, this is what I want. Like this is what I have wanted and been working towards and like imagined like for my life. And yet there was so much like sadness and grief around it as well. Mainly what was coming up was like how my relationship with like my son would change. And it was like I was really tired and he was having to like let mummy rest and let mummy sleep and he didn't know what was going on. We waited a while to tell him as well. And it was like, oh, this is different. It's going to be different now. And it was almost like grieving, even though like every bit of my body like wanted to be pregnant. And it was something I'd been like, I know this is happening. I know I really want this. When I actually was pregnant, it was like, oh no, and like everything's going to change. My relationship with him is going to change. I'm not going to have as much like time one on one with him. Like he's going to have to learn to share our attention. Like all of these things. Again, it's like my brain was just doing as brains do. It was going to the worst case. It was just like going to the worst case again and again and again. And all it could see was all of the like bad things that were going to happen with like another baby. And I know that I did this with my first pregnancy as well, was imagining like how it would change things for the worse. I just could not imagine how it would actually change things for the better. And so I allowed myself to just like be with the sadness. And again, it's this like loss of a future that you imagine, which is like our life that we had at the moment. It was just like so amazing. And this like little 3 unit and well, 4 with our dog. And it's like, this is just so good. And then it's like the uncertainty, like, I don't know how things are going to be different, what's going to change. And our brain automatically, where it doesn't know something, it's going to go to the worst case. And it's going to be like, things are going to change for the worse. And this is going to happen and this is going to happen. And that's like all I could think about. And so even just knowing like whatever goal you're working towards, like when you actually create the goal, when you actually like achieve it or you're almost there, obviously allowing yourself to sink into it, but noticing that like it's so normal that it's probably going to come up, that there's like a sadness. It's almost like a nostalgia for what has been. Like you're not the person working towards the goal anymore. It's like you now have it. You're not the And like for me, it was like the nostalgia for how our relationship had been and like how things had been. It's like that's going to actually change now in the future. I don't actually feel that way as much now. I think I've done a lot of work on imagining like the best case and imagining their relationship and like how we're all going to like get closer and like hang out together and just kind of like what happened with our dog. And like when Flynn arrived, it was like, oh no, like it's going to be so different. And actually, what I hadn't imagined was their relationship and like him throwing a ball for her and then like running around in the forest together and him like throwing pine cones for her. It's like, oh, that is really fun. Or them like snuggled on the sofa, or him like cuddling her, being like, I love Maples. Oh, so cute. And so it's just imagining it's like, okay, there are the best case like elements of this as well, but like my brain just almost couldn't see them. It was like, oh, change, everything's differently, uncertainty. I'll fill in the uncertainty with the worst case and like how bad it's going to be. And I just couldn't even like see the best case. And so again, like part of what I've been going through, like, been holding the vision and I'm still holding the vision of having a healthy baby. And I'm also holding the vision of like how that's going to be, not just like the baby, but like how we're going to be as a family. And just, again, it's like getting really clear on like what it is I want and how I want that, like the dynamic to be, how I want our relationships to be, and like what I want that to be like. And just spending time imagining it now. Because again, our brain doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. So when we're like imagining something, we are feeling as if it's already happened. And so we're priming our subconscious and priming like our whole life to be working towards that thing as well. So this is sorry, I've like totally lost my train of thought. This is a slightly more rambly. I didn't have my like 5 things I learned. I was just like, I'm gonna go in and chat about like some musings and like things I've been thinking about. This was a little bit more of a different episode than last week's one, which was very much like 5 things I'm going to talk about. And here we go. This is more like some musings, and here we are, and this is what I've got. And so I'd like lost my train of thought there. But just knowing that any goal that you're working towards, that you've created, or even if you're working towards, like self-doubt's normal, fear is normal, going to the worst case is normal. Like it's just your brain doing what it does. And then when you have the tools, which again is what I like teach my clients through coaching, is like to be able to see it as like, oh, that's what my brain's doing, and be able to bring it back and focus on like the best case and imagining this already happened and like living into that best case and just celebrating all of the wins along the way. And I think that that's been a huge part of it as well, is just any win along the way. And even I was just thinking now, some other things that really helped, like when I was had the miscarriages and was like, okay, what is really important for this year? And for me, it was like the two biggies were the nature house, which I talked about in the last episode, and a healthy baby. And like literally, it was like, yes, there's other things that are important, would be really fun, but like those are the like they are the top two. Of course, like my health, like family health, like all of that stuff as well. But like in terms of the things that we didn't have at the start of the year, and both were like on the vision board. It's so fun. I put like a picture of me in that I took like when I was like super pregnant with Flynn in like a hotel mirror. And like we were down in Edinburgh a few weeks ago and Luke was doing a talk. And I had the same dress on that I was wearing when I in that picture. I was super pregnant with Flynn. And like I turned sideways and took a picture, and it was like in a hotel mirror, and it was like, this is so fun. This was like the vision board on my phone. And now I have a picture in my phone that like literally is the same that I've been imagining, and just like imagining me like being in that dress and like having that picture. And it's so fun. So I've totally got the hiccups with all my chocolate. Um and and so it's like those were the two like really, really big. It was like if these two things happen this year, it'd be freaking amazing. And like obviously other stuff as well, like having adventures and like connection and like helping my clients create amazing results. Like all of that was really important as well. The two like kind of personal life things were those two. And oh yeah. And when I had had like the 3 miscarriages, and like I made a decision, and I do this quite a lot. Like if I find that maybe there's bits of my life that are feeling full, or I'm kind of expending energy where I'm like, actually, I need the energy to go into this other stuff that's really important right now. Like priorities are shifting. I made a decision to let a few things go. And the question I asked myself that might be helpful for you as well, if there's like goals that you're working towards, big goal that you're working towards, also asking yourself, it's like, okay, so I'm focusing on this. What am I letting go of? So even just asking yourself that now, like write it down, like you have your goal, you have your vision. What do you want to let go of? Because it's so easy. We can be like, I think as humans, certainly me, maybe some humans where it's like, oh, I can do this and this and this and this. And of course, we can all do multiple things and like hold multiple possibilities and hold like multiple goals that we're working towards 100%. Like it could be very easy to be like, it needs to be baby or house, like one of them. And it's like, no, I can do baby and house, like for sure. But there gets to the point where there's other things. It's like, and I can do this, but I can't do and this and this and this and this and this. And so it's really deciding, like, again, it's getting clear what is important to you, like, what is your vision and what are you letting go of? And so for me, I actually like let go of a few of these things that I'd committed to and said yes to. I was like, I just need to focus on my own health and like rest and just give myself the space. And I have found so many times, like in my life, where when I have let go of something, that's maybe not fully aligned with like the top priorities and it's like this is an extra, like I'm letting go of this, like the energy, the flow, like things have just happened so much more quickly. It's like if you what did there was like a really random example of this. Well, that was it. We had this like horrible, so Maple had a, she doesn't use it anymore, but like we had a crate for her that she would sleep in. And it was useful when we first had like our son. If she needed a bit of space, she could kind of go in there. It had her bed. It was like all nice and cozy for her. We don't really use it anymore, but at one point we had this like horrible crate bed thing. And like it had been lovely, but she like dug at it and like it was a bit stinky and ripped and it was just it looked like horrible. And we kept being like, oh, I can't get rid of it because we don't like it's like we don't have another. We can't get rid of it until we have another one. And then I don't know if I'd like read a book or heard something about this. Like, no, when you let go of something that's not like quite right or not fully aligned, it can be like an object in your house, or it can be a commitment that you've said yes to. Whatever it is, something that's like not quite right, that you're like, I know this isn't quite right. But like, and again, it kind of like the house episode last year. Last year, oh my God. I think I need to sit down. Like the house episode last week, which was recorded like 20 minutes ago. Um, like saying we said no to two what would be on paper like amazing houses because it was like they're not quite right, and that created space for the house we actually wanted to come along. And it's the same, it's like when you let go of something that's not quite right, like having something, whether it's in our space, in our life, that we're spending time on, that we're spending energy on, it like creates this like energetic exchange. It's like we're thinking about it. If it's in our house, we're seeing it. It's like it's like coming into our consciousness, and it's using up our energy, it's using up our attention, it's using up our like resources basically, that's taking us away from where we actually want to go. So so it was like this dog bed was like this great bed was the same. It's like, no. And I was like, no, we need to get rid of it. And then once there is that space, we will find the perfect thing to like fill it, basically, rather than like waiting, having this horrible thing there that we're like, ugh, every time we go past it, and then trying to like go and find something else. This is not what I thought I would talk about in this podcast episode, by the way, but here we are. And it was amazing. It was like one of those like random examples where we got rid of it and almost there was a space there. So we put like a bit of a blanket in. And then it was suddenly like, oh, we have her. I can't remember why we had it. And it was either up in the loft or in the like shed or something. And it was this like really nice crate bed. And I don't know why maybe the other one was a basket and then we'd put it in the crate or something. I can't even remember. But we actually had like a really nice, like plush, super comfy, like crate bed. We just got rid of it because we'd put this other one like in the crate. And it was like, oh, we'd made the space. She had a blanket to lie and it was all good. And then it was like, oh, we actually already have something that like works absolutely perfectly. And literally that's been in her crate for the last like few years since we got rid of that one. So it's the same with anything. And again, with this, like I knew I needed to free up energy for focusing on what was really important, which was like house and baby. And so I let go of things and I said no to things and no to commitments. And I just created that space to be like, this is what I'm focusing on. So even thinking about that for you, like again, coming back to what are those goals? What is it that's really, really important to you? And is there something that's maybe you're kind of hanging on to a bit that's using energy, that's using emotional energy, that's using physical energy, any kind of energy that's not that you're not like, oh, this is moving me where I want to go, but it's kind of keeping you like a bit, or you look something in your house, you walk past and you're like, oh, I don't really like that, but we don't have something else. It's like, get rid of it. Like, it's amazing what happens when you actually just let go of the things you're like, I don't need this anymore. Whether it's stuff, whether it's commitments, whatever the thing is, like, just like, actually, it's time to let this go. And the energy it frees up, the headspace to then put into what it is that you actually want to create, whatever your goal is. And that's something that I find was really, really helpful. And just, it was almost this like, I could feel the weight lifting. And like, I knew that I was spending all this time and energy on this thing. I was like, I need to spend this time and energy resting and actually, and visualizing and like going on walks. And that is what is important for me right now. And just having the courage to say that, even though it's like the thing was really fun, or it was really this, or it was whatever. And it could be like, I'm letting people down. I had all of that. And still, it was like, I know that this is what I need. I'm going to have that uncomfortable conversation and just like actually do it. So that was another thing that helped. Anyway, I'm running out of steam here. 2 back-to-back podcasts, first ones in a while, and that is where I'm at. But maybe I'll sit down for the next one. Like, I'm gonna go sit down. I'm gonna go sit on the grass. Maybe I'll have another chocolate. I don't know how many that is today, but we're all good. But I just want to say thank you so much for listening, and thank you for being on this journey with me. Oh no. Oh no, we're good. Okay, we're good. The microphone had like changed and now it's changed back. Thank you for being on this journey with me. And oh yeah, the final piece. So where are we now? We're in October now. I am gonna be on maternity leave as of like, oh, what is the actual date? I think it's like 18th of December. Um, Let me actually see what the date is. Whatever. Oh gosh. Do I have my phone here? I do have my phone. Anyway, say mid-December, I'm gonna be on mat leave. Um, into next year. So I'm not currently taking on any new one-on-one clients in terms of like normally I work for clients for 6 months. I'm not doing any of that. If like my existing clients, if they want to continue on until December, they can. And like can continue on and like do ad hoc or like a kind of rolling monthly package, like that's all good. If you want to do this work, to even start this work, to do some of this work, coming into next year, into 2026, getting your vision sorted, like really getting clear, like what your goals are, where you want to be, and also what's standing in the way, and actually releasing some of these things and helping you actually take, like, not just be like, oh, I'd love to do this, that'd be so cool, but like, oh, I'm actually doing it now, and like stepping into that person and taking that action and moving these things forward. Basically, using a lot of the tools I've talked about the last couple of days, but actually embodying it and like leaning into that trust and like knowing that this is happening and that you're creating that future that you want. Those scary goals, like whatever they are. Obviously, we're October now. That's still like 2 months. So reach out, like drop me a message, and we can do either like one-off sessions, not like one-off, but like if you want to book like a few of them, whatever works for you. But like if you're kind of like, oh, I know that like come 2026, I really, really want to be like stepping up my goals and like stepping up where I'm changing my life. Like I know there's like areas that I want to shift, and I want to do this work and like learn these tools to be able to believe that this is possible for me and expand into a new identity and catch my brain when it's trying to like self-sabotage or pull me back, and all of these things. Like if you're feeling called to do that, reach out and we can do a few sessions between now and Christmas or whatever feels good for you. And then you will have a bunch of the tools and you can apply them next year. There's also some other fun things that I'm planning over the next couple of months. So do watch this space and I will make sure that I announce them on here as well. And yeah, in terms of the podcast, I have this vision now where I'm like, maybe I take a bit of a pause, but like actually, I almost want to like document the journey and what I'm learning like on my mat leave. So I don't know if it would be like a weekly thing of like, here's how things are going in real time, or if it would be a bi-weekly thing, or maybe I'll have a pause and then like start again. I'm not really sure, but I'm feeling called at the moment when I have energy and I've had some chocolate to continue the podcasting, at least for some of the mat leave, or at least in a like slightly different way, or however that's going to go. I'm feeling like that would be really fun and like a really nice creative outlet when a lot of stuff's like feeding and nappies and sling walks and whatever else is gonna appear in January. But I might take a little bit of a pause and just with recovery and like all that kind of stuff as well. So I'm not quite sure yet, but for now, until for the next few months, until December, and maybe into like early January as well, there's definitely going to be podcasts, and I have so many fun things coming up for you. I'm so excited. And yeah, if you want to take this work deeper and work with me until December, drop me a message, like get in touch on Instagram, reach out. Like now is your time. It's like the perfect time to like prime your mind, get all this stuff like in place. So like when 2026 hits is like literally going to be your most amazing year yet. And you can be like, look at the end of the year and be like, whoa, my life is so different. Like I feel that now. Like I did this vision boarding workshop at the start of the year. I'm doing one actually at the end of November. And it is crazy to look at the vision board now. And I was putting things on it. I was like, I have no idea how this is actually going to happen, but like it would be so freaking cool if this was my life by the end of the year. And it's October, and this is literally like my life, and it is wild how this stuff works. It is like I know it works, and I teach it to my clients, and it works for them, and like it's worked for me for years. And yet every time I'm like, this is so crazy. Like I had this idea, and I was like, this would be really cool. Wrote it down, found a picture, stuck it, imagined it, like didn't do anything. It's like I obviously did stuff, but it's not like I did anything. I'm not like actively going out and forcing stuff and this. It's like just imagining it. And the ideas come, then I follow the idea, and then somebody else comes, and somebody else comes. And it's like it is crazy and just amazing in the best way. So if you're like, I want to learn all these tools too, get in touch. It's so fun. Honestly, this work will change your life in like the best way. And the fun thing is you can like apply it to literally anything, to anything. Like there's so many. I mean, I could talk about like past scary goals. I guess I have a little bit on the podcast, and I'm going to talk a bit more about like expedition stuff as well, like and some of the mindsets for that. It is the most fun, and like literally you can apply this work to anything, which also is so fun as well. It's like whatever the goal is, you learn the tools for like that goal, and then you can like literally apply it to any bit of your life. And oh, it just makes life so fun. I think that's the bit I love most about this work is like just enjoy, like it just makes the day to day just so much more enjoyable. Yes, of course, creating the goals are really fun. It's so amazing being in this house. It's like I am beyond grateful and like so chuffed to be pregnant. I'm just like, this is amazing. And even while we were getting here, I was enjoying the process as well. And even when I wasn't pregnant, I was like enjoying the process and like that whole part of it as well. It's like, yeah, it's really fun right now, but like it's been fun the whole way along. Not all the time. It's been really freaking hard, and it's been sad, and it's been like feeling impatient and frustrated and like all of this stuff because I'm a human, but like it has just made the journey so much more enjoyable. And like that, like if you think about it, that's literally all we have. Or else what I used to do is like go to one thing to the next, and then it's like you just keep doing that, and then you reach the end of your life. You're like, I've done all the things, but I didn't enjoy them because I didn't like stop or pause to like fully appreciate where I was in that moment. And it's the same. It's like if you don't appreciate your life exactly as it is right now, and like even if you don't have the goal, even if you're still working towards it, even if you're in the middle of grief and loss and heartache and whatever is going on, if you can still love yourself and love that life right now, that's how you then love the life when you actually build it. Because at some point, even whatever you're going through right now, you are still living a life that you dreamed about at one point, whatever it is, whether it's like the house, the partner, the job, the whatever it is, the relationship, the friend group, like all of that at one point you dreamed about and now you have. And it's like if you can't appreciate it as you go and the life you have right now, even if it's you're still working towards something else, then you won't appreciate it when you actually get there. So it's all starts with just like loving and appreciating where you are now, even if it's not ultimately where you want to be. Okay, I hope that rambling episode was helpful in some way. It's so nice to be back, and it's so nice to just like have a chat and share what's on my mind. And I'm so excited to continue to do that over the next few months and share some other insights and musings and wisdoms and some fun things happening as well. Okay, mwah, love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening, as always, and I'll catch you next time. Have an amazing week, Ed. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, thanks so much for listening. If this was helpful, please hit subscribe and leave a review. This helps get this work in the hands of more purposeful people. That is, more people creating bigger, scarier goals, making an even bigger impact in the world. And if you want to take this work deeper and work with me directly, head to the show notes and I've got all of the information there. If you've got any questions or if there's anything you're like, ooh, I'd love you to talk about that on the pod, please just get in touch. I love hearing from you guys. And I'll see you next time in the Scary Goals Club.